And so I was wondering what everybody's best skills were so that I could plan accordingly.
And I just wanted to apologize that apparently I hadn't started streaming until just like a
Oops.
moment ago. I thought I had yeah I know I thought I had the thing going
Okay.
for like yeah for like 10 minutes just in like with the offline screen going, and I switched over. Um, so let me, man, let me refresh by saying welcome everyone to Wild Blue, and we have a new cast member, Kelsa, who you may recognize from. Let me see. AP Gaming Reels Mistborn, which is awesome. Eric Vulgaris's several of Eric Vulgaris's streams, also very cool, and your own very cool stream. That's I'm sorry, I'm blanking. That was the Dresden Files.
Yeah, I'm running a Dresden Files game called Shadows of Seattle once a month, and on my own channel, as well as in the vast archives of the internet. I've been on a couple other shows that are either now defunct or I had to drop out of due to conflicting schedules. So,
Alrighty. Uh, and with us as usual is also our wonderful GM Hassa, who is hanging out with Dimmy, who plays Rixlax, the merchant whose contracts are absolutely binding, and also Mark, who plays Marin, uh, who is a uh, seducer without peer. And we were just about to jump into doing final character details on Kelsa's character, Appaloosa. And once again, I'll turn it over to you guys. And again, apologies.
So yeah, Kelsa, we're very excited to have you.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. I'm very excited to be here.
Would you repeat your question that you had here?
Yes. Okay. I wanted to know what everybody's best skills were, so that as I'm filling out my character Appaloosa's skills, I'm not stealing anybody's spotlight.
Okay, Mark, go ahead. What are your best skills?
Report, deceive, and investigation.
How about you, Brad?
That would be physique, rapport, and will.
And you, Tim?
Leave resources and empathy.
Sorry, what was the first one?
Leave.
Eve.
I think it's deceive.
Deceive.
But
Yes.
It's
It's like the sound bad?
It cut
only
out
hear
the first
Eve.
part of the word every
Okay.
time.
So we need to speak loud and clear.
Or just take the mic. Dig into it.
Dig into it. Yeah, okay, cool. In that case, I will not take investigate as one of my top skills. And,
I would have no problem if you still take investigate, but
Well, I think I'm still going to take an investigation stunt, but I think I'm going to bump it down to fair and maybe take fight as good because we don't really want to get into a fight, but it might be helpful if we had more than one person that was halfway decent at it.
Yeah, it is Wild West after all. You know, there's bound to be some shootouts.
Yeah,
Well, I think
and I do have a.
hand in hand and shoot.
Yeah, I do have a replacement stunt to let me use physique for fighting in some circumstances.
Cool.
Oh, and I forgot. I've got a skill point to spend.
Cool. Alright, I've got my skills worked out in that case.
Okay. Let's see what you have. So Tinker is called Craft, I think. Crafts?
Oh, yes, it is crafts, sorry.
So
I
could
knew
you tell
that.
us a little about like the character idea that you had?
Of course. So, she's a starry-eyed tinker. She's naively optimistic. Um, she was apprenticed to a clockmaker, but as she, reached her middle years, her puberty, she discovered her gift is in making mechanicals and clockworks that should not actually work, but they work for her. They only work for her. So if they are outside of her presence for an extended period of time, they just wind down and stop. So nobody else can get them to work.
Okay, sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a nice way to round out the group. But the crazy seductress, we have creepy merchant. Oh, because you can just like make you sign something and then you just have to do what's in there. That is creepy.
How is that? I mean,
Maybe just a bit low down.
I think he's just a bit wondering why you use the word creepy on the merchant and not on another person.
I mean, Marin is very creepy in her own way as well. And then we have like the big honest superhero guy, and then we have like the super innocent like tinker. I wonder how that's going to go. So I think like probably like if you want, we can do phase trio, but it might be a bit too like complicated since we already did it with the rest. So if you want, you can just make up aspects until you have 5.
That works for me.
Although I think some sort of backstory tie-in between all the characters might be good. I mean, whether or not it's like directly connected to aspects, just to just to know each other to some degree.
Maybe we knew each other in the academy briefly, at the very least. Even if we don't have any major backstories that tie our aspects together, I feel like at the very least we knew each other there.
Okay.
Sounds good. Maybe you were sent over because they broke trains and destroyed the cover story and everything to just make sure that they tone it down a little.
or you were
Sorry, I'm muted in between.
or you were sent to fix the train we broke.
That could be. Or just in case you
Well,
break
I can
something
fix
else.
anything.
Ooh.
And then it's better than new.
Yeah. And it works just fine while you're there.
Well, I know. I mean, as it describes in the Wild Blue book, I know when I'm using my power and when I'm not, so I can still fix things that
Yeah.
are going to work even after I'm gone. But I can also fix something that is broken beyond repair to work just long enough for me to use it.
So you really fix stuff.
Yep.
I think like your I can fix anything aspect might overlap a bit with the starry-eyed tinker, since tinkering and fixing stuff is I guess unless you mean it in the more general, like I can fix relationships and stuff like that as well. That then it might not entirely overlap, but else it sounds like it'd be a, you know, you'd be wasting a perfectly fine aspect slot.
I don't think she's very good at making relationships. You're right. So, I don't have any social skills at all. So yeah, maybe you're right. I'll switch it back to I'll figure something out.
Okay, and you don't have to worry too heavy about the mechanical effect of your power. Like, quite often I'll allow you to use your powers like narratively, instead of making you roll like, you know, yeah, sure, against like this like big, very like super important clutch moment maybe, but in general, if you can make stuff, you can make stuff.
Good to know.
I am wondering a little bit about the drawback of your power, because I'm not sure if it inconveniences you enough.
Okay.
Because yeah, you can't give stuff away, but apparently, you know, your stuff always works for you then.
Maybe it occasionally explodes.
That would be
Rarely explodes. Almost never.
How
Yeah.
how about unforeseen side effects? That could be a cool one where, you know, suddenly, you know, in addition to doing what you want it to do, it also, you know, does something completely different and completely random.
Oh yes, I do like that.
So side effects may include mild explosions, but you know, don't worry.
Or, you know, random ditch digging.
Yeah, or, you know, your tongue turning purple.
Yeah, totally. I feel that.
I actually once had the idea for power that would let my character explode himself and surviving, but he had to fix himself up afterwards and get all his stuff back together and setting himself up again. So it means if he makes small explosions just with his hand, he just has to fix his hand again. If he just explodes himself, then yeah, it's a bit inconvenient.
Yeah, he can explode himself, but then, well, he explodes himself. That sounds like a pretty interesting power.
Cool.
So, yeah, Appaloosa. If you want, you can be a warden, but you don't have to. I know the book kind of assumes you are, but and I think everybody is, but Marin,
I
for
was working
instance,
under the assumption that I was.
yeah, Marin, for instance, is also like part folk or entirely folk. What are you, Marin?
Entirely folk. If you
Yeah,
said
sure.
Jet, okay. Then if you're fine with that, then
So, you know, you don't have to. Like, usually, as long as you don't break anything, like if you make the game impossible for me or someone else to play, then I disallow stuff. But any other than that, like, you know, go ahead, go wild, do whatever you feel like doing.
Cool.
So, are you sticking with that? You want to be a warden?
Yeah, I am. I'm
Okay.
good being a warden. I think it's yeah, I think it's good. I think I'm gonna make one of my aspects. I need to make Mama proud.
Oh.
That's sweet.
So, let's meet up in a saloon somewhere. That sounds like an appropriate thing. So, well, Kalsa tinkers with Appaloosa a little, adds the beautiful finishing touches. Why don't you guys describe what you're doing and what you'd look like? Right, go ahead.
Okay.
Brother.
So At the bar, Duke would probably just be keeping an eye on things rather than like tying one on. Uh, and uh, to describe him, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. He looks just like John Wayne. Huge chin, and his movements are very uh, smooth, uh, and I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of vaguely sort of cosplaying, but his hat would be white because he's just that sort of guy. Uh, I guess that's about it for now.
He's probably avoiding touching anything from made of glass, right?
Yeah. Like he has his own like tankard that he has the bartender use rather than trying to use something else that he'd just break.
Okay, how about you, Marin?
Well, the looks depends on what you would like to see. So it's you can describe how Marin looks like for you if you want. But
yeah, what kind of person is Appaloosa attracted to?
I feel like she's probably like a I get the feeling that she's not like I don't think that she's asexual, but I feel like she's more like there's a term for it where you're more attracted to the intelligence of a person than their looks, and she would never be sexually attracted to someone just by their looks alone.
So she would see like Marin like covered in like these like clothes with the all the tools and such.
Maybe. I mean, because it wouldn't have to necessarily be the same kind of things that she's in. Like maybe Marin holding a book. Maybe somewhat bookish, like something that might spark an intelligent conversation. You know. But I don't think that that gender would matter, and I'm not 100% sure that Appaloosa would even notice at first that she couldn't pin down a gender.
I guess that's how Marin looks like. Like not really. You cannot really tell what gender Marin is, and looks like a sophisticated human being that might not have books or something else with him or her.
Okay.
And what are you doing, Marin?
Currently.
Yeah, in the saloon that you're in.
Well, probably if I'm in the saloon, I'm gonna eat and drink something. That would make sense.
Seducing the bartender into giving it to you for free?
No, I have. Rixlax is here as well, right? Yes, so I have to, of course, stay near him and keep a good eye on him and try to strike conversations.
Yeah, so there's this whole like love triangle thing going on where Duke is into Marin, Marin is into Rixlax, and Rixlax doesn't care.
Rixlax is into money.
So Rixlax, what do you look like and what are you doing?
Tell me if you can hear me, but Rixlax looks like a small man with weird features that are not quite human. You know, somewhere in his family tree there was folk somewhere, and you know he has some strange features like you know, longer ears that maybe flap a bit, and big nose that you probably don't like. um, and it's like almost every time you look at him, you're looking at someone different. You know, it's either the face expression or the the general feeling that you get from, you know, just seeing someone's face, because you can't really pin down what he's like, because he seems to be different, a different person every time you just look at him, by looks alone, I mean. And yeah, I guess he would be looking kind of um, I don't know, maybe too trustworthy to be actually trustworthy.
I instantly trust him.
And
That's a great idea.
And what he's doing is probably cleaning his ostrich outside, because the stupid bird wanted to stay in the lake the whole day, and when it got out of the water, it was all dusty and stuff around, so it got very dirty. So I'm probably cleaning it.
So we decided that mounts here are not necessarily just horses; they can be anything, and it's very common to see an uncommon mount.
Cool.
So,
Then,
you know,
as I ride up on a clockwork horse, it's probably not that out of place.
well, it might be because it's specifically clockwork.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if that is your power, then I imagine not very many people have the ability to make something like that.
Probably not.
So, if you ride around it, it might identify you as a warden.
Or someone with the power.
Or, yeah, someone with a power specifically. So there are roughly 300 humans with the power. And 200 of them are, with a major power, right? 200 of them are wardens. So there's a 2 in 3 chance that you're a warden if you go. Like, people will.
I think I'm
will guess that
probably
you might.
proudly wearing my cobalt star on my jacket, so it wouldn't really be a question that I'm a warden. I think she's very. She's here to do a job, so she's wearing it out there, you know.
Oh, I should. Yeah, I should mention that we were we were asked to be covert about the job when we were first sent out, but we blew that.
Oh, well.
But we totally blew that, so it's probably fine to
continue to be covert. I guess if I was sent out here to clean up your mess, I would know at least that.
Yeah, so what they told you in Cobalt was that there was this important person of the folk who was really dangerous, was being transported, because this folk person had a power that was only usable for destruction, which is very rare to non-existent for the folk. Usually they have powers that are, you know, at least in some way usable for good. And this person wasn't just born with a power that's purely meant for destruction, but, you know, very destructive power, you know, the kind of major disaster power. And they told you that Duke, Marin, and Rixlax were sent to find out when and where this person was going to be transported and to deal with it. You know, that was given an open interpretation as long as they, you know, dealt with it in some way. And and they were first going to go to a town in the Outlands that consists of folk as well as humans. And they were going to go there undercover with a caravan as like Rexlax was a trader, Marin was a trader's wife, and Duke was supposed to be the guard, and they were supposed to not show that they were wardens. But then the skyplane they were on from Cobalt to Lake Town, the train got robbed by sky pirates, and then Duke ended up like breaking the train in two.
Oops. Yeah.
It happens.
It happens. Yeah, just a small problem. Details. So, the cover was thoroughly blown. So then it was decided that Duke would just go as a warden to guard the caravan, and Marin and Rixlax would still go undercover.
I have a question though.
Good.
What if someone does and we say, okay, I'm the caravan master and this is my wife, and they see Marin as a man?
Oops.
Well, I mean,
This is my
I
spouse.
thought about that as well.
Yeah, you should probably say spouse then.
This is my life partner.
It's a very progressive Wild West. It's kind of cool.
Obviously,
Yeah.
obviously.
Or you could just not say what Marin is, and Marin could just introduce as Marin, and then they could create their own
I can
ideas.
just lie about it. I'm supposedly good at this.
And I like we said that Marin had a vague idea of what he looked like. So Marin could based on that decide what to say.
Ooh.
So you were sent with the task to assess basically the damage Appaloosa, and decide on the best course of action to take if there should be still if you guys should still go undercover or not. So you can decide for yourself how exactly you're going to do it, as long as you get the job done and you don't break any more trains.
Break
All
other
right.
stuff.
If that's the case, probably then I would not be wearing the Cobalt Star out there, but uh, I've been riding like all day and all night because my clockwork horse doesn't need sleep, and I've just been pushing myself. So as I'm pulling up into town, I'm like I've got like a pail of exhaustion on me as I come to go into the saloon. Appaloosa is a mostly dark-skinned woman. She's wearing like a duster and trousers, a button-up shirt, like you might expect. She's wearing a hat. It's probably like brown or dun colored, and she's also got I'm going to say the condition incorrectly. Vitialgo. Basically, she looks like the model Winnie Harlow. So she's got dappleting on her skin, on her face, and her hands of a lighter skin tone from her normally dark skin.
Okay, cool. So, well, you see, you've gotten descriptions from well, the description of Marin were kind of vague. The you weren't sure, and the people describing didn't seem to be entirely sure, because Marin's gift is actually a well hidden secret for most people at the Citadel. So Yeah, like most people would be like, no, but she looks like, no, but he looks like, no. Have you seen her? Like that would have kind of been the way that Marin was described. So
And
that
so
you're not
basically
sure
I've
about,
got
but
better
you've
descriptions of Rick Slacks and Duke.
yeah, like this big guy and the small fellow with the flappy ears, like stuff like that is probably quite easy to pick out of a crowd. So you'll
And
see
so
Rex Lax outside with his what was it?
An ostrich.
Ostrich, right?
okay, yeah. So I think I pull up and just stop my horse near where you tie up a horse, but I don't bother tying it up and jump down and I walk up to you where you're cleaning your ostrich and say, and you can tell I'm tired. There's like rings under my eyes, and I say, Rixlax, is that you?
Yeah, who's asking?
And I put out my hand and I put a big smile on my face, but you can tell like it takes most of my energy to do so. I say, I'm Appaloosa. Been send us back up.
Looks you.
Can't hear you.
Ursax looks you up and down, eyebrow raised, and what do we need backup for?
Well, you blew up a train.
Well, things have been
It's
going
already in the
better
it's already in the
since.
papers.
What can you do about it? I mean, these things happen. I'm sure you know.
Well, I'm here to see if we can do some damage control on this and get it fixed up right.
By the way, uh, you might or might not notice someone looking at you from around the corner, depending if you
Okay.
notice it or not. Like, might roll
Appaloosa
it.
probably would.
Because
Um,
there's
you're not a danger to me, so I'm not. It doesn't really. You're just background right now. I think my danger sense isn't tingling. I'm not. Even if I see you, I'm not. You're not on my radar.
Probably one of the worst mistakes she's made yet.
But
I
yeah,
do
the
have danger
train.
sense, so that's what I'm saying. Um, sorry, go ahead.
Um, I was about to say that. Well, I think the train was taken care of. So I don't see why we need damage control. We control the damage.
This is supposed to be a secret mission.
Well, it's still kind of that.
ich
Look,
you hear a slight a light laughing from my direction.
yeah, and I think Appaloosa looks up and kind of catches your eye for a second, and like turns sideways so that like there's something between her hands and wherever Marin's at, like steps around the ostrich to put the body of the ostrich between, and so she can just kind of point through the ostrich at Marin because she doesn't know who they are, and is like, look, can we go inside where it's a little more quiet? I could really use a drink.
Sure. Just give me 5 minutes to finish this up, and I'll be right in.
All right. And then like so she heads into the bar and she is there like a booth in the back or something that she could go and that'd be a little bit more private, something, or maybe a side room that they could reserve?
So yeah, you see like on the outside you see this sign that says a separate room for parties, make reservations up front.
Yeah, and I just realized I don't have any resources, and I think this is probably where Appaloosa realizes that she doesn't have any resources. Like, she rode out on this mission without like even getting any petty cash, and so like she's got like enough change in her pocket for a meal, but she's like, I'm not gonna be able to reserve a room. And so she just sighs heavily and like sits down at the bar and orders a beer because she's this whole thing's a mess.
Oh, by the way, I completely forgot to do something that we should have done before we started. So instead of using the standard fate system of rewarding skill point every 1 or 2 sessions at the end of like a scenario, or I'm not sure what they call it, but at the end of like a chapter, we're going to do something different. Because there might as well be some reason to work for your skill points, so that you can so that they actually reward something that you do. So I've created this rule where you guys decide some kind of improvement goal for yourself. That can be anything from last time Rexlax had use all my stunts because he always forgets to use his stuff, and then he complains about how bad his character is.
Or I complain how bad I am at my character.
Well, something like that. What did you have last time, Marin?
I said I wanted to play out the both aspects of my personality, but I
right,
did
yeah,
not
your
do it
dual
sufficiently, in my
character.
opinion.
Yeah, and Brad said that he would play out his aspects, and it can be really anything, like the things from looking into the camera when you speak, or some kind of goal for yourself that you want to achieve as a person or a role player or something like that. And it's really, there's like a lot of different options and choices that you can go. It should be something that should be achievable, and like I'm fine with you guys getting a skill point every session or every other session. So something that's doable, but that that where the little extra motivation is nice for yourself to help you remind to do it.
Cool. I have a good goal in mind then. Something I like to do and that I haven't done yet for Appaloosa is I'd like to settle on a character voice for Appaloosa, so you can distinctly tell if I'm talking in character as her or as myself. And I definitely haven't been doing that yet because I don't know quite what she sounds like, but I'd like to try to remember to figure out a voice for her.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a nice goal. Jimmy, what are you gonna go for?
I was thinking about maybe remaining undercover to the end of the mission. Not blowing up my cover again. That's not very much a this session kind of challenge, but it's a challenge.
Sure. How about you, Mark?
I'll just take the one from the last evening and try to do it again.
Okay. And how about you, Brad? You're muted.
My goal will be to be audible. No, how about just low incidence of ums and other like speech dysfunctions.
Less filler.
And there we go.
That's a good one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys have nice goals, and at the end of the session, you just decide, if you've made your goal, and if you have, like, we'll talk about whether we think everybody has made their goal, and then you can get a skill point if you did, and then you can be like, yay, I got skillful. So... hold on, my grandmother's calling.
And then everyone had outside interactions.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
My grandmother was asking about her soup bowls. The bartender comes up to you and asks you, so what do you want?
I could use a beer and maybe some soup or something. Been on the road a long time.
Okay, that will be 1 coin then.
Do I for that will I need to make a roll at mediocre to have the 1 coin on me?
Yeah, sure. You can roll anything at mediocre.
Well, I guess is
The question is, do you need to?
Yeah. Not can I?
Yeah. That's what I was suggesting. Sorry. But you only need to have like a mediocre or something, like, most people can afford that. So yeah, no
I got a
problem.
1. Yay. So yeah, I
just wanted to see if your life got even more miserable than it already was.
I mean, it could have. So yeah, I pull out a folded dollar or a silver coin or whatever type of currency we use in the Blue Lands.
Whatever type of currency do they use? Do you have any suggestions, Appaloosa, to what currency they would use?
I feel like paper money is like a very Wild West thing to have, but also like silver coins as well, like a small amount of money in coins and bigger money in paper money.
Okay, then that's what it is now. So if you
Perfect.
Credit cards.
If you pay a small amount, like it's they'll just say like a coin or something like that, and it's bigger amounts, they'll say a bill. So bills and coins.
Works for me.
So
yeah,
he brings you some soup and some bread to go with it, and a nice beer. It's not very cold, unfortunately, but
Warm beer is
it
how you
works
drink
against
it.
the thirst.
Yeah, so she starts tucking in, waiting for Rick Slacks to get back. I mean, when she came in, would she have recognized Duke? You're sitting in the bar, I think you said.
Yeah. He. I mean, he's fairly well known at, like. Unfortunately, he's fairly well known as a warden, and he sort of stands out. So yeah, and I'm assuming that we did at least meet at the academy or during, some earlier warden-related mission.
And Appaloosa is fairly distinctive looking herself, so.
So once you've ordered, Duke nods and says, "Ma'am, you seem might unusual even for these parts. Welcome."
You're cutting in and out there. I only caught half of that.
Oh, sorry. Let me kick up the mic. And let me revise what I was going to say, actually.
Fair.
So, Pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
The director who says cut, and then
Yeah.
you do it again.
Get the
Ple-
boom in there.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Duke. And he holds out
Yeah,
his
so
hand.
she looks up from her bowl of soup. She's got like a piece of bread that she's been dunking into it, and she's like got the bread in one hand and like her spoon in the other hand. And she went to shake your hand, but she realizes that she's doing that, and then she like puts down the soup or the spoon and shakes your hand and says a little tiredly, "Thank goodness, Duke. Was looking for you, Mapaloosa. I think we met back at the governor's ball that one time."
Yeah, all right. I wasn't gonna assume, but sure. Didn't want to mess any. Well, I won't even go into it.
You think you can arrange for us to get a private room?
Let me just take a peep with the proprietor, see what I can do.
I nod and go back to eating like almost immediately.
A woman is asking for a private room, Duke.
Aw, shucks. So yeah.
Yeah, because Appaloosa is like super like not that great at dealing with people, and so I don't think it would even cross her mind that she didn't specify like for a meeting with the rest of the wardens. Like, yeah, she just thought that that was implied without ever actually doing anything to ensure that it was implied.
Yeah, and Duke's mind is thoroughly not in the gutter. So while he wants to keep an eye on propriety for anyone watching, he doesn't. He's not gonna assume the worst or act embarrassed, even though there's a part of him that's definitely going, "Aw, shucks." But so what I'll do is say, Barkeep, if I could have a moment to know your time.
Of course, sir.
Me and a couple of new friends are getting ready to play a bit of cards, and I'd like to rent one of your rooms for the purpose.
For a warden, always. You're welcome to just use one of my rooms as long as you need it.
Powerful kind of
If
you.
you want to stay the night, you'll probably have to pay some coin, because else I'll be losing business. But if you just want to use it for a game of cards, then you're welcome to do so.
I'm obliged. So
Just make sure to mention that I've been helpful.
I will indeed do so. Ma'am. He says to Appaloosa, "Just a moment."
And she's like in the middle of a bite when you say that, and like like turns like spoon halfway hanging out of her mouth and just like nods like I'll be there in a second, but she didn't say anything.
I'd imagine like Rex Laxon will be entering by now, and I'm sure that he's going to be tailed by Marin.
Actually, before he goes in, I say to him, "Well, we should be undercover in this mission, right? So your cover is blown. Let's be real here." Brad
What?
Duke is a well-known warden, and I think this other girl, she has quite a noticeable skin uh, skin color. So I think she will be recognized soon as well. So do you mind if I don't come into that meeting and you will just tell me later what's going on? Because I think we just need one from us that is still undercover.
Well, the bartender probably already knows that we're wardens because of last night, but they were bribed to keep their mouth shut. So we might as well just.
He doesn't know about me. I
Oh,
want a
right.
kobold style. That's all they
Yeah.
know.
Right.
So I will stay out of there, but don't get too near to her, alright?
Don't get what?
Don't get too near to her. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
I'm just going through the city, looking around a bit.
You could try sneaking out back and entering through like a back door or something.
I could, but let me check before if it's possible and if nobody looks. Actually, I think it's safer if I just stay out there.
You could meet up with the merchant woman you met earlier.
Yeah, that
in
was
Kobold.
it was an idea of checking if she's already there.
Yeah, there have been some trains since the disruption. So you know, she might be.
Okay.
The bartender leads Duke, Appaloosa, and Drixlax into a back room with a table and a few chairs. Says, you don't want to be disturbed?
No, I don't think so. Right?
If there's an emergency, we should probably know. But if nothing big is happening, then I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir. He says and gives you this I'm in on it wink kind of pretending he's all big and
Well, as he's walking out, I will even thank him by shaking his hand and giving him a bill or a coin. I don't know what sort of a tip would be appropriate there.
Probably a coin.
I guess it would depend what I roll if I decide.
It's fine. I think in Appaloosa's case it was interesting to see if she, couldn't get anything to drink after her long trip or whatever. See if she got miserable, but generally you can do whatever you want. So you've got the room to yourself. Bartender closes the door, and he's totally not listening on the other side of it.
Of course, totally.
So,
I mean, do I have any reason to believe that he might be listening on the other side?
Well, I guess if you look at the door, you might see that there's two foot-shaped shadows at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how observant you are.
I'm pretty observant.
Well, then you'd probably notice that somebody is at least not moving away from the door.
Yeah, I think Appaloosa doesn't want to confront him, but at the same time she doesn't want him there listening. So I think she just kind of catches the eyes of both Rixlax and of Duke, and just gestures towards the door,
Duke nods and says, "I'm on it." So he goes to the door with his mug opens it very suddenly, and he says, it's relatively good that you're still here. Could you refresh my sarsaparilla?
You see the bartender just goes like bright red, like shoo, and yes sir, it's on the house, and he goes and then brings you a new sarsaparilla.
All right.
Okay.
Hopefully that'll do.
And after that, you notice that you actually like hear him walking away, and he's clearly trying to make enough noise so that you can hear that he's walking away.
Mm-hmm.
So, once we're settled, welcome, Appaloosa. I guess it ain't hardly surprising that Windhammer would want to send someone to keep an eye on things after that bit of difficulty the other day.
Well, y'all have been stirring up quite a ruckus, and I'm here to put an end to that. We still need to get the job done, but we do it a little low profile like.
Absolutely. I wasn't too comfortable with the whole idea of being, I don't know, sneaky, as it were. But I realized that may be best for others. And I can't hold it against folks.
Where's Marin? I haven't been able to spot her.
Oh, Miss Marin, she's hereabouts. Keeping a low profile.
Well, I guess it's good that at least one y'all's good at that.
Yeah, you'd think that she wouldn't be. Just being. Well, I won't go into it, but yeah, she's good to have around. Gotta say.
Well, why don't you tell me a little bit more about what y'all have been done so far?
Like losing a cobalt star in the gambling.
That never happened.
Yeah, and luckily I wasn't around for that part.
I'm not mentioning that.
Yeah, I think Baron's the only one that would say that. You're not here.
If you want, you can do a contacts roll to see if you can catch anything in the rumor mill going about these guys.
I'm sorry, a what?
You could roll contacts if you wanted to see if you heard anything in the rumor mill that's been going about these guys.
Oh man, contacts.
Another one.
See, the problem is that I literally have zero of any kind of social skill. If it's a social skill, I don't have it.
You could try and see if you get lucky.
Or fail miserably.
Yeah.
Or not.
I can fail miserably. Oh yeah.
So I wanted to discuss this with you guys. If you roll 4 minuses on your natural dice roll, you like something bad happens, like something like if I'd compel you, but this time you don't get a fate point for it, and you're just not gonna like it. But if you roll 4 pluses, then you get to name some kind of like additional like nice effect for yourself that, you know, would again be equally like cool. I remember, I think, like when we were playing Pirates and Demons, Mark's character Cypher ended up like shooting a mast of a ship because she rolled so ridiculously well.
I think it was plus 12.
Yeah, I think so. You had a 12 or a 13 or something. It was like
Crazy.
silly.
No, that was ridiculous.
So, yeah, you hear a lot of disturbing facts about some of the ladies in town that you'd probably rather not heard. But nothing about Duke, Marin, or Rexlax.
The bribe worked. Haha.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So, in answer to your question, since we got to Lake Town, we've been pretty much just cooling our spurs, as it were, waiting for the next train. Well, not train. The next what's it called?
Caravan.
Caravan. That spotted difficulty put a delay on things.
So what can you do? Appaloosa, was it?
Oh, yes. Oh, well, I am a daft hand as a tinkerer, and she pulls out, like, in her jacket pocket, she pulls out, like, a small, it looks like a metal like a metal dragonfly, and lets it go, and it, like, flies around the room and then comes back to her. As it gets close to you, you can see it's entirely made out of metal, and maybe a few pieces of glass, and it's totally made out of clockwork. And if you know anything about how clockwork works, or the weight of metals, and how things should be able to fly, this should not be capable of flying, but it definitely does.
Looks pretty cool, I guess.
Well, you saw my horse out there.
Or what?
You saw my horse outside.
Oh right, yeah. I was wondering about that. You make it?
I sure did. And ain't no one gonna be able to steal it neither. She won't ride for no one but me.
Well, I wasn't going to.
Totally wasn't.
Sorry, there was a cat fight literally on my lap. That was a problem.
How many cats do you have?
3. Only 2 of them on my lap at the same time, though.
So it was like a vacation almost, with just 2 cats on your lap.
Right. Okay, sorry. Crisis averted.
So what would your role be in the whole undercover plan then? I mean, you seem to be quite distinguishable, I guess, if you have a horse like that.
Well, I'm very well known as being able to fix pretty much anything. So it seemed, with you blowing up trains and whatnot, having Tinker along for the ride might have been a good idea.
Well, we ended up dealing with the problem anyway. But
did y'all fix the train?
we
got it into the station, but no.
Which is basically the same.
And I think she rolls her eyes, like maybe sighs dramatically at that.
Yeah, what basically happened was that Duke flew back alongside the tracks and stopped like the next train and the train after and such, so that they wouldn't crash into the train half that was standing there. And then he went back to Cobalt, and he, they made contact, and eventually they got like a team of wardens at the location to remove the train from the tracks. So I guess they arranged that it didn't get worse, but they didn't particularly go and fix the train themselves or anything.
Yep. I'm sure that your skills will be well appreciated around here, and you might be might overqualified for the throne shoe or whatnot that a caravan will come across, but still, there'll be a role for you.
I'm also a daft hand in a fight if it comes down to that.
Well, folk can keep a cool head in a fight is always appreciated.
Well, we would still have to think about a role for you in the whole undercover thing, right?
Well, what's y'all's cover then?
Well, I'm the caravan owner. Baron's my boss, I guess. I would probably say wife. And Duke is our warden protector. But yeah, we are just, me and Maren are not supposed to be known as wardens.
Well, either you can put me down as a second warden in your caravan, or maybe just a hired blade. Or worst case, I can be accompanying you to help out. I can fix things and build small tinkers that are fun for children.
Would we hire a warden for such a thing?
It was an either-or proposition.
Well,
I don't need to go my style.
Like quickly so that you can still see us, hopefully.
just having a tinker or a blacksmith on a caravan is probably a fine thing.
Yeah, that's true. So do you know when the caravan is supposed to arrive?
The caravan is supposed to leave in a few hours.
Oh.
So you got a little time to prepare, but I mean, you could decide to skip this caravan and go to the next one. That's up to you. But the next caravan leaves like.
They didn't hear you, I think.
Did you hear that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if we only got a few hours till we leave, I'd better catch a nap. I've been riding since last afternoon. I'll get here as quick as possible.
Sleep tight, ma'am.
Been on the road since the news of that train explosion was put out. And I think Appaloosa is gonna try to catch a nap while everybody else gets ready.
So, Marin, what are you doing then?
As I said, I'm just walking around town, look if I see something that might pique my interest or something that might be important. Just look around and learn a bit out about the city.
Okay. It sounds to me like you're trying to investigate.
Okay.
Ooh, and it seems that you're great at investigating. So, let's see. What do you find out? Is there anything in particular that you'd like to figure out about, like rumors or whether Miss Eliza Crockett is there, or
Actually, I look for information that might be helpful regarding our mission. That might be rumors, that might be special places that do special stuff, or information about the folk that we need.
okay.
Um,
So let's see. You you hear some rumors about Duke, of course, being in town. The news stories vary from him, saving a train by that was about to derail by just grabbing it up with his hands and like putting it back on the tracks, and unfortunately he wasn't able to save like the other half to him like just getting a fit of rage and breaking the train in two in his anger. Like the stories are really wild, and the descriptions of Duke vary, but they're quite accurate, and they describe that he's a warden. So yeah, everybody here has heard of him, and if he walks across the street, some people might not recognize him, but most people probably will.
okay.
Um,
So,
you also uh, you also hear stories about Mr. Not a Mister, it's a lady. Lady Illiwan. And Lady Illiwan is supposed to be a great leader of the folk town that you're heading to.
mhm.
And you hear that she values respect greatly. That she had somebody thrown out of the village for presumably spitting in her soup, but the stories about that vary what the person had exactly done. Some people say that they walked into her tent naked, and others yeah, you know how that goes.
Okay. Do I hear, is she more like pro-human or pro-folk, or doesn't care about it all?
So you hear that Ilwin is someone of the folk who tries to really create this bond between folk and human. That's why she is the leader of this mixed village, because she wants folk and humans to work together. She doesn't have very much respect for humans who don't treat folk well, though. So she's the kind of strict personality that you
Okay.
you can come across once in a while.
Do I hear any rumors regarding myself?
So you hear this one rumor that somebody says that Temperance said that she'd won a Cobalt Star of a fellow in the saloon, but nobody really believes her because nobody's there to back up her story. And I mean, she doesn't have the Cobalt Star, so she's just trying to work up her reputation. That's the kind of story. Like there are stories going around about this Cobalt Star going missing, but yeah, nobody really believes them. It's just kind of like, haha, did you hear this?
Clearly, it's a tall tale.
Yeah, basically.
Uh, okay. Then I spread rumor myself that one warden did actually lose his Cobalt Star, and then went home to the Citadel because it was completely screwed over, and tried to get a new one, but was now thrown out and does live poorly anywhere. But actually, Temperance lost the Cobalt Star herself, so that's the problem. So-
you wanna say that Temperance is the one who lost the Cobalt Star and that she's telling the story about herself?
No, but that she lost it afterwards as well.
Oh,
so-
okay, right.
So they don't think Rixlax is a warden, so they think
very
the
well.
warden went home after that because he was crying and trying to get it back somehow. But
Okay. I'd say that would be I'd say you would be using rapport to make the rumor believable and contacts to spread it as wide as possible. So it'd be a challenge.
And deceive to grow up. Telling it.
Yes, deceive would also, but that would be instead of rapport.
okay, I
Just
should...
keep it as is.
Okay, report.
So roll
contacts.
contacts then. Roll to spread the rumor. You're right. It's
Yeah, that's it.
okay. Okay, nice. So, like you just look around and you see this guy in the street, and you know that he's in saloons like every night telling like these wild stories. Just from looking at the guy, you can just tell that. So you stand casually near him and talk to somebody else about this, and before you know, like the whole town is talking about this disgraced warden that was conned out of his. Did you say it was a he or she? The warden.
Oh, whatever.
He was conned out of his Cobalt Star, and he got sent back to Cobalt, and yeah, like they're all like shaking their heads. What are your wardens getting to these days? And you even hear like a few tidbit of stories about like corrupt wardens, like conning people out of their money, pretending it's for the queen's taxes and things like that.
Okay. Oh well. Happens. Don't care really about that not so much. I just made us a bit more stealthier, I guess. So.
You certainly did.
Yeah, I think that's quite an useful thing. But let's go on. I think I've done my job here.
Oh, and Mark, I'm getting a intermittent echo.
I do it myself as well, actually.
It's
I
us
hear
then.
myself. I try to speak a bit quieter then. You guys can still hear me?
Yeah,
Fine?
yeah.
You can just speak loudly. We just need to remember to mute we're trying to mute the microphone every time we're not talking, but the problem is that one of us holds the microphone and then they need to guess when the other person is going to speak. So we try to mute the microphone so that it won't echo back.
It's not a big of a problem. I can just try to speak a bit quieter and then it's fine as well.
So I suggest we take a 5-minute break, and then when we get back, you guys can tell me if you do anything before the caravan leaves or not.
Sounds good to me.
Cool.
Okay, see you in 5 then.
So, Kelsa, if you want, at some point, like if you need to go to the toilet or starting from first, it's totally acceptable to be like, can we take a 5-minute break? Because we take one of those like roughly every hour or hour and a half. It varies a little per session, whether somebody asks for it or not. But
yeah, I was about to think about asking for one, but then you were like, let's take a break. So I'm going to use it, and that means I've got to dump a cat off my lap.
Then
Sorry,
I'm
cat.
going to eat a little more.
All right. See you all in 5.
Yes.
Yep, see ya.
Welcome back. Let me see. We were just figuring out last minute preparations before going out in the caravan, I believe. And I was seeing if the stream is dropping frames again. Like, it seems it is slightly. So I'm gonna do a couple of things to try and improve that. But let's go on.
So, Appaloosa, are you doing anything to prepare, or are you just catching up on sleep and?
Yeah, I think that's what she is doing to prepare. Like, pretty much, she's got all of her gear. It's all still like packed inside of her horse because it's mechanical and has storage space instead of whatever horses need to still stay alive on the inside. Anyway, so she's ready to go because she hasn't even unpacked yet. She's just catching up on sleep so that she will not be like at a disadvantage when it's go time.
Okay, cool.
Do you need any stuff to build those things? Well, as in materials and something bought? Or do you just salvage things?
Mostly she'll salvage. She mostly salvage things, but like she has most of what she needs, like to build anything. I would say reasonably like the size of a dog or smaller. She wanted to build another horse or something really big. She'd have to make some kind of expenditure, but like she's got a bunch of little pieces, parts, and doodads and gears and whatever. And most of what she makes is probably going to be small.
Okay. So I would offer you a fate point if. Oh, what am I doing? No.
You press back.
Damn it.
No.
I pressed a button on the mouse.
Oh.
Yeah, it has like 12 of them.
Yeah. I'll rejoin the game in a moment, but I'll hand you a fate point if at that moment your horse starts acting out and not doing what it's intended to use for, basically.
Oh no.
Meaning that you can't catch up on your sleep. Like you just were lying down and then it started
Fighting my ostrich.
Doing something. Yeah, okay. I'll take that fate point and go out there and deal with that.
Yeah, so the barkeep comes up to you and like to your room, like knocks and timidly says, "Ma'am?"
Yeah, she kind of she didn't even bother getting undressed because she knew she only had a couple hours anyway. And so she just rolls off the bed and shoves her hat on her head and answers the door. Yes.
Ma'am, there is a bit of a problem with your steed.
Oh my goodness gracious! And she just like bolts out to go check on it because it's got all her stuff on it and it's kind of like her baby. So yeah, she runs outside.
So if you want to suggest some like own ideas for that, you can, but kind of like what I was seeing in my head was like this little carnival music playing and like the horse like bouncing up and down and like doing like wearing lights that are like colorful lights, like just like making a ruckus in the street, basically.
Yeah, all right. And I think so she Appaloosa gets out there and is like no, dang it, it's not party mode, and starts chasing it down to get it under control.
And the horse looks thoroughly guilty for as far as clockwork horses can look anything.
Right, yeah. So I think she's like, all right, Well, if you need to make a show of it, we can do a parade around the town, but we're trying to keep a low profile here. And so like she'll mount up and then like slowly parade around so that I should probably name my horse, shouldn't I? She calls him
Is it an
Bozo.
Appaloosa?
Well, it's a clockwork, so it's kind of hard for it to be an Appaloosa, but I feel that. I think she calls him Bozo.
Okay.
Did we have someone who's good at survival?
I'm okay at it.
Then I would suggest I find someone to hire that's good at that. So because we're heading into I was going to say wildling territory, but into folk territory, and we might need that.
Yeah, I was saying I'm good at finding people that do the survival part for me.
So I'll ask around and see if someone knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy that's super awesome at survival, and knows the area that we're heading to, and try to hire him.
Excuse me.
I mean, I could always make some. I could always make some scout clockworks.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Scout points.
That's Rixlack's way of doing it, I guess. Do I straight out resource him, or do I look for him first?
You do contact. I think if you want to find, let's see. Like you'll find somebody, but let's do contacts to see how trustworthy they are.
I think I have about 0 at that, but can you?
How good are you at that?
Yeah.
Duke knows folk.
You're fairly mediocre. Okay. You find this guy, but the stories you hear about him don't really match up with the appearance. He's you hear that he's really good, but then you see him and he's like picking his teeth with a knife, and his clothes are not really well taken care of, and maybe he can find you something in the world, but it doesn't fill you with trust.
Literally
I guess
drunk.
I'm better. What?
I was saying literally drunk.
You would be.
I guess then I would rely more on our Duke there, but still I can buy some supplies for the road if I think of something that we need, or if any of you would have.
All right. So yeah, looking at the guy you picked, Duke's all. I reckon that guy ain't no good. Let me see who I can dig up.
And you dig up the corpse.
The bartender looks at you worried, trying to think about whether you're actually like going to dig somebody up or not.
There we go.
The bartender, sees your trouble and doesn't want you to start digging any graves nearby. So he points you to a place nearby where a fairly skilled woman lives who's said to be a great tracker. Stories are that she grew up amongst the folk, but she's human. So she learned, she learned the wildlands.
I say we just go and get her.
Yeah. So, do we know where to find her?
Yeah, let's just go in and see if,
Okay.
if she's there.
Yeah.
So you see her working out back in her garden when you arrive. Got this big hat against the sun, and you can see from her tanned skin that she works outside most days. And she says, "Howdy. What do you want?"
Howdy, ma'am. Folks around here say that you're the finest native guide that there is to have. I was wondering if you'd be so kind as to accompany us on a bit of an endeavor. Got a caravan going.
Folks around here are right. And if the work pays good, I'll follow you.
Let us see what we can do about it. Yeah, but I'm used.
Sorry for the webcam shaking. It's like the laptop is on a bit of a shaky table. So
Would you rob a bank?
press a key, it just goes like or whenever you touch the table with your feet. So I wasn't exactly kidding. So she says, for that kind of money, I'll help you find your way, and I'll even bring in my friend Jim to make sure that we're well protected.
More the merrier, I've heard people say.
Dreadful kind of you.
So we're leaving in a couple of hours. Would you be able to prepare and leave so soon?
I could do.
Great. I'll give her the directions of where we are supposed to go from. And what's his this friend of yours name?
Jim.
Oh yeah, Jim. Sorry. Hey. Jim and Jane.
Jim, indeed. Probably pull up a random name generator, but then I need to press the keys, so the whole thing will go like. If you guys have any cool names for ideas of what they look like or what they do, you're welcome to offer suggestions. I'm always happy with anything that the player brings in, because then I don't have to think for myself.
Which is the dream, obviously.
Of course, not thinking is awesome. So, Jane and Jim meet you at the appointed location. What goods are you carrying, Slacks?
We're going to the folk, so probably we need something that people make, or was it humans or people? Humans. I don't know. So maybe. Oh, that's a difficult one. What do we carry?
Does anybody have any suggestions?
Maybe some processed food. As in, I at least I would imagine that humans would have, better technology at processing and, making breads or whatever.
Would they have things like canned food back in the day?
Maybe not canned, but, jarred and...
Yeah, maybe in
pickled
jars.
and-
Yeah. Stuff in jars.
Pickles.
Yeah.
Maybe the folk are
Barrels and barrels of
extraordinarily
pickles.
fond of pickles. It's one of the things they can't make themselves, but they really love it.
That would probably be better than being like evil and exploitative and just bringing a bunch of alcohol.
Well, we can bring some for personal use.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go with pickles.
All right.
And the chest of random things. You you pay a flat amount and you pick something out of it. No, let's not do that. That's a dumb idea.
So
Well,
probably-
I'm sure it'll work out. Rixlax, for good or ill, you can sell snow to Eskimos.
Well, that's on one side it's very, very kind of you to say, and on the other side it's actually true.
So probably the folk don't know any alcohol, like they've never experienced it before. I mean, sure, they might have noticed that some of their fruits might have gone bad, but then they would have considered them gone bad. So they wouldn't, have thought about turning it into a kind of drink.
Rotting fruit.
So
I
then
think
people gave them alcohol in the beginning, but soon people noticed that it wasn't going anywhere. The folk just had some really bad reactions to it. So there's probably laws against it. People still do it, and if you take a bottle of alcohol along, you can sell it for a pretty high price because it's forbidden to sell them to the folk, and there's always demand, but you wouldn't be allowed to do it.
You would get in trouble with the wardens. Oh wait.
Yeah.
So in this case, it means you would get in trouble with Duke and maybe Appaloosa.
And the Queen. General.
And the Queen in
He already doesn't like
Yeah, well, there ain't no need for that. We need to put in a good show, but don't really actually need to turn a profit here.
Well, we might as well.
Yeah.
Are there any other people with Carolyn?
Certainly, there's a gruffy-looking merchant. Does anybody have a name for this merchant? He is selling. What is he selling? I think little curiosa. Can you can you say that in English? Curiosa.
Curios?
Curios, right? He's selling curios, toys for kids and little bits of colored glass, especially probably bottles, since the folk are really fond of glass bottles. So he's got a few really beautiful colored ones. Tarek, okay.
Cool.
The merchant is called Tarek.
But the reworked one or the never mind. Bad joke.
this one.
I mean, the merchant is definitely not fabulous.
It's not truly
Aw.
outrageous.
So I think he's just this bit of a grumpy old man, but he's still called Tarek, so he's a little bit fabulous.
Just a little bit, though.
There are two women that are selling cloth of various factory cloths, and there is a third merchant. Does anybody have any idea about the third merchant that's coming along?
Pete,
He's
deadbeat
the one
Pete.
who tries to smuggle alcohol in.
He should be. What did you say, Duke?
Oh, Pete, deadbeat Pete.
Ah. Well, I mean, obviously Pete would be the one smuggling in alcohol.
Yeah.
Could you write the name in chat so that we don't forget the names?
Sure.
Sure. If you don't do anything else, you would have time to meet the wealthy merchant lady.
Yes, then I would, because I might convince her to come with us, and that would give us a bit more resources. Know what I'm saying? So, should we play it out, or do we make it fast because it's holding up everyone else?
Yeah, let's just do a roll, and then we'll just like quickly say how the conversation went.
I think it's with the bonus from my aspect, I guess. And not start for my stunt. Isn't it?
What was the stunt exactly?
The one that gives me a bonus when I try to seduce people with the part.
Sure. I mean, you're basically always seducing everybody.
Yeah, that should do the trick, I guess.
No, I don't think I'm gonna roll today. I'm just gonna guess how hard like people would on like I'll just like
I can
guess
roll
how
for
hard
you.
people would on average be, and then everything is just gonna be a static opposition, so that we don't have to bounce the camera up and down. So
I
yeah,
could roll
sure.
for you too as well.
No, I think like a 6 would be a
More than enough.
like she'd be hard to convince, I think, but a 6 would do it. Yeah.
Promise her a romantic weekend in the country.
Yeah. So what do you promise her to convince her to come along?
Well, if I probably would. That's. I wouldn't promise her anything. I'll just be vague and do make some. I say some things, and the rest she can think of herself what she likes to hear. So I don't promise anything, but it sounds good.
Okay. So you're being very
Vague.
very very vague, so that it's not clear what you promise her exactly, but it sounds like you do.
Yes.
Okay. That won't come back to bite you.
Oh, I'm sure.
So if everybody's ready, then the caravan will leave.
Alrighty.
So all of the merchants shake your hand, Duke, and say that it's a pleasure to have you here. That it makes them feel much safer. And off you go.
Yeah, Duke's all happy to serve.
The further you get from Lake Town, the worse the country becomes. The more north you get, the warmer it gets. And you see that it's also very dry. It probably doesn't rain here very often. And at some point you see 2 men riding towards the caravan, and they're wearing kobold stars like brightly pinned on their chest, and they tell you, "Halt! Queen's wardens are here to collect taxes."
Do they
Well,
look
I-
like the wardens?
If I'm, leading the caravan, I'll just, stop and would it be normal for wardens to collect taxes like that? Just randomly
No.
on the street?
Not like randomly on the road.
And I'll not walk up to them, but stop next to them and say that, how do you address them? Well, my good wardens, I'm very glad to see you protecting the road, but I fear we already paid all our taxes required for this. caravan trip?
They say it's new laws, sir. It's very unfortunate, and they look like not remorseful in any way at all. But we have to keep I have to keep the roads clean for you. You wouldn't want any bandits coming and robbing your caravan or anything else nasty happening, would you?
Well, yeah, you're very right, and I'm willing to pay your tax. Just I need you to sign a note for me that if the next wardens, if the next guards stop us, I can tell them that I already paid the tax required. Would you agree to that?
Can somebody roll a d100 for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Look now, sir. You're speaking to a warden. A little more respect. You will
Where
pay the
is
taxes.
Duke?
Yeah,
Is it your
I'll
duty
I'll definitely write up.
as a citizen?
and say, you know what? Seems like something mighty unfortunate is going down here. I'm gonna have to ask you, gentlemen, where you got those stars.
Yours?
Oh, sorry, it was muted.
Well, would you be wearing your star?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So they clap you on the shoulder and they say, "Don't worry, brother, we got this."
Well, seems to me that you're trying to take advantage of folk, and I just don't cotton to it.
Brad, just so you know, we already offered the peaceful solution, so you can go ham if you decide to.
Now, if you folk want to step up and act like real wardens and accompany us, I suppose we can make some room. But otherwise, I think we're gonna have a problem.
Are these guys displaying their cobalt stars, by the way?
Yeah, they are like clearly wearing them on their jacket.
Are they? If I was to pull down like some magnifying goggles or something like that, could I tell from a distance how if they were a forgery or not with maybe a notice?
Sure. That would exactly sound like something you would be able to do. Are you trying to hide it?
No. I mean, I'm sitting on a clockwork horse, and I just pull out like some goggles, and I pull them over my face. But and like I'm sitting there like. But I rolled really poorly, so.
You can try re-rolling if you have the
Yeah, you're a
aspect for it.
tinker, so
Yeah.
you might just tinker with it a little bit. And
I think that would definitely fall under starry-eyed tinker. I'm willing to spend a fate and re-roll that, because I think with 0, 0, minus, a re-roll is going to do me better than a plus.
I mean, it's a little more of a gamble, but it's a fairly decent one.
I can barely do worse than that, so.
Well, you could roll for a minuses, and then they would bring out all their friends.
But that would actually probably be better. Like, either getting 4 minuses, like the worst I could roll would be like 1 more minus, so I'm at like -3 without it getting really interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna re-roll that.
Go ahead.
No!
Okay then.
Okay.
I had to say that.
I think you jinxed it.
Yeah.
I did.
just weren't meant to
I'm gonna
be.
the one that spoils everything and say there is no such thing as jinx. And now we die.
I think obviously I pull the goggles on and I'm trying to adjust them and I realize that they're dirty and then I pull them off and I start cleaning them again and I'm totally involved with trying to clean the goggles that I totally forgot what I pulled them out for in the first place.
So, Marin, if it's a forgery, it's a clever one.
Okay.
It doesn't seem, it's not. Well, they wouldn't have plastic, but it's not plastic. They would be, they would at least be genuine blue steel, which is hard to come by. So, someone would have had to gone through a lot of trouble to do it like this.
Okay. Oh, and do the stars have the name of the warden on them? Like in general and in specific?
Would they?
I don't imagine, because
Maybe not. I don't know.
Let's say a warden dies. What do they do with his star? I mean, that's a very expensive material, so you might as well use it again.
I guess.
If anything, I think that they might have some kind of a number on them, and that we could check a repository back at home base to see who that number is assigned to, but we wouldn't have a way to check on that right now.
That makes sense.
I was totally going to make them just go and surrender in the Citadel themselves.
Don't read the small script.
Duke was
So yeah. How do they respond?
They say, no, fellow. Don't worry. We'll we're amongst friends here. I'm sure we can work something out. And the way the guy says it, it's clear, with the whole wink that goes along with it, that he's basically trying to bribe you to go along with them.
They just sealed their fate. I think they could have gone away with it, but no.
I tried to do this all kind of but doesn't seem like it's gonna go down this way. Tell you what, you two gents hand over those stolen stars and sign my friend's contract promising that you won't do it again, won't engage in any kind of let's just say nefarious activity like this, then you can just ride off and live your life. But failing that, I think we're gonna have a problem.
Before you roll the roll, if you're rolling something, while you're talking, I would like to throw in the occasional. That's in your best interest. You don't have to. You don't want to to test my friend here and saying all those kind of encouraging words.
Okay, do you mention that
guys
he's the
on
dude?
horses?
No. I just.
Were these guys, when they stopped us, were they on horses? or some kind of mounts?
Yeah, they certainly were. They came riding up to you. They are riding a donkey and a...
Yeah, for sure. One on the donkey.
Oh, yeah.
I would believe that.
and this giant, like... No, reptilian creature.
Actually, I want that donkey. Nobody will think that I'm one if I'm riding a donkey.
Well, I assume you're riding on one of those, one of the carts that's just pulled by horses.
Yeah, okay, I can later get a donkey if I need it.
So yeah, I think like Appaloosa had been like kind of behind throughout all of this, and as the threats are starting to come out, she's gonna ride forward on her clockwork horse that is in itself kind of intimidating, especially to the guy on the donkey, because it's solid metal and the size of, you know, like your typical riding horse. So
Okay. And I guess for my interaction role, it'd be wonderful if that was under rapport, but it's probably provoke.
It could be either. If you're just trying to, you know, I guess like the way you said it, yeah, it probably would be a provoke.
Okay.
Can I
but
try?
you get the from Rick's Lax.
Okay.
Do I roll for that?
Sure, go ahead.
I don't hear anything anymore.
yeah, I also don't hear things.
We were trying to figure out how to make the technology work. So
Can you scroll up? For my see if I can
okay.
use an aspect to.
Because I controlled the mouse and then he was typing, so
Okay.
and we were just talking about that, so that's why it was muted. You could listen in on us, you know, trying to be like, oh yeah, the touchpad doesn't work. Well, yeah, I'll use the mouse. Can you scroll up? Okay. No, I didn't want to go to my sheet. I wanted to type my roll in.
Okay.
If I...
So, yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of point in running Fate to just give advantage to another role. But, I mean, if you want, it's fine.
I mean, I have to, so why not?
Okay.
Well, if you could say that, you know, they have emotional baggage, those two, and be doing what they're doing. If I noticed something, well, you know, I would say the right things if I know. That aspect. I'm talking to you most.
Okay.
But
I think so. I think if that doesn't count, like, it depends on how you would describe it, but if that doesn't count, the fact that you're a deal maker and you're trying to, you know, convince somebody to do something might also count.
sure. Yeah, I'll bump that up to a 2.
Yeah, that would be enough.
All right.
Usually, if you're fairly helpful, that is enough to get an advantage, by the way. For you as well, Kelsa.
Cool.
Well, good.
Let's see. I think with this, you can succeed at a cost.
Is that with the advantage or without?
That's with
What's
it.
that? So you get to succeed at a cost.
Okay.
Do you want to do that, or do you want to fail?
Well, I mean, I actually don't mind it failing. You know,
Well, failing would mean that they'd pull their guns on you. Succeeding at a cost would mean that basically they would not do it, but they'd come along on the trip, and you'd basically be responsible for them. And they're probably not the easiest people to be responsible for.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot more trouble than just having them pull their guns on me.
Kick their asses.
Sure.
Fight.
By the way, Mark, you're we see you from the nose up because you're too low. So you should probably angle your webcam a little different or something like that, or just sit up.
But yeah, I will have to do that.
I know it's hard. Not fall asleep.
So Duke says these things, and you hear that doom. And they almost close their eyes and look at you, and their fingers are shaking near their guns. And a tumbleweed rolls
Exactly,
over.
yeah. You see in the background some tumbleweed rolling by. And one of them flexes his fingers and says, "We're not going to create trouble now, are we? I'm pretty sure there's 2 of us and only 1 of you." Cracks his knuckles.
And I think Appaloosa rears up with Bozo and says, "I think you miscounted."
I'll grab
Yeah,
my
no.
pistol, but without showing it, but I have it ready to shoot if I needed to.
Okay. Let's see who draws their guns fastest. Then, shall we? That sounds like it's athletics.
Wouldn't it be shoot if guns, being used here?
Well, this is specifically about.
Reflex. But I'm just trying to make athletics.
I
less
guess
useful.
just pick
Because it's unfairly useful.
pick between your shoot or your athletics, whichever is better.
Okay.
I'm not planning on
No, that
drawing a
was
gun,
Oh, okay.
so
In your case, it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter to you.
I thought that was for the other guys, which doesn't
No.
really make sense.
Yeah, I don't have a gun, but
Can
Alright.
you guys roll at a
Perfect.
+1 for me as well? Actually, I can just do that. Hold on. Okay.
You don't pull the gun.
So suddenly they're looking into four guns pointed at them, and
Just so I don't have a gun.
yeah, I think they're looking at
would you shoot with them?
I think they're looking at one gun pointed at them.
and I think that Appaloosa will draw her blade. So she's ridden up on her tall mechanical horse, and says, "I think you've miscounted." And a blade comes out of her sleeve that
Cool.
had been hidden there and extends out. And she points it down at the guy on the donkey.
Do you have it under his chin? Shave a little of his beard off.
Oh yeah. Threaten
And one of the guys mutters, I think we should I think we should leave.
No. That ship has sailed, guys.
Surely, we didn't want to create any trouble amongst wardens, amongst each other. Certainly, we can. We'll leave, and we'll leave you alone, and we won't create any trouble anymore. They say. And how do you guys feel about NPCs using rapport on you guys? In the sense where, they might convince you, and then, you might be convinced
Sure.
of something your character wouldn't normally be convinced of? Or are you
Wouldn't
rather
that usually be a conflict? Where we would then be able to defend with a skill as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, you could defend with your will. So, it obviously, you get to roll against it. like they get to roll against it when you do it against them. But then if you'd fail, you'd have to in some way agree with them, whether that's grudgingly for the sake of peace or for any other reason.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
No, empathy is for deceive.
Oh right.
If that's
So
okay.
It's kind of up to you guys. If you don't like the whole fact that your character can be influenced by stuff that I do, then I'm fine with you guys keeping like full agency. But if you guys want to do the
it makes Will more useful, so I'm all for it.
I should probably make this closer.
If it's okay, I would make a stunt. I have another. I can lower my refresh for another stunt. I would make a stunt that allows me to defend with report against that.
Sure. But like, are you guys fine with with using then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Using on you? Okay. So yeah, the guys are trying to convince you guys to leave them alone. They are doing a fairly good job at it, apparently.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna defend with Will. Oh.
Rickslack is like, yeah, sure, let's not sign any contracts. You can just leave.
I wanna.
Seems fine. Let him go.
I mean, I wanna invoke the situation and say these guys just threatened us and now they're being all nice, and I wanna reroll my thing. Can I invoke that? The same way you would invoke
I think
the
so.
weather or stuff.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if it's like there wasn't specifically an aspect place, but I think so. Sure.
Well, being, I don't know, calling them on their provoke or bluff or whatever it was
Sure.
would be.
Still not.
But not as bad.
All right, we'll let you go this time.
Be faster.
The other thing was like, no, Duke, leave them alone. Duke. Sign this contract. You leave them alone.
Actually,
Duke and Martin are like, nope.
Afraid not.
Wait. I won the roll, but I don't say I don't think it's a good idea to just leave a be. I don't want to make any more noise around here and say, hey, here we are, look, there's a warden.
Well, it's up to you. Like, you're not convinced that it would be a good idea to let them go, but you can do with that what you want.
Yes. I'll just shut up.
I would say they didn't change your mind about it.
No.
And Duke is gonna try and lay hands on the one with on the lizard thing. Y'all. Well, you had the opportunity to do this all peaceful life, but again, that has passed.
The grip around my pistol becomes stronger again.
I'm sorry?
I just grabbed my pistol a bit harder, if let me say that.
Okay. So, just grabbing him, what would that be?
You're Duke. You can just grab the guy and lift him up.
Okay.
I mean, you'd probably, like, technically wouldn't use your muscle strength. You would probably just use your what was it called again? The telekinetic. I always confused like
telekinetic and telepathic.
Yeah, I always think telepathic. No, that wasn't it, because that wouldn't allow him to stop bullets.
No.
Cool. So you just grab him off his lizard and hold him up.
So, And I'll pluck the star off of his chest. Now, there's still two ways this can go. Your friend cooperates. It won't be too bad. But I gotta chase him down. It's not gonna end well.
He looks at you almost hurt, and he says, "That star is mine. Give it back. I trained many years to earn that star. You didn't have any right to take it from me."
Can I roll to see if he's lying?
Sure.
Cool. I have a stunt that lets me roll notice instead of empathy in order to perceive if someone is lying or not. I'm Sherlocking it.
Looking at his eye movements and seeing if he's looking up when he's thinking or not. Yeah, he seems like genuinely to be speaking the truth.
I apologize. It was supposed to be investigate and not notice, so I should only have a 3 on that instead of a 4.
Well, like you can change it to be notice instead of investigate. It's up to you.
Cool.
So the guy genuinely seems to be speaking the truth.
Yeah, well.
It appears to be his Cobalt Star. And he seems like genuinely, like, you know, yeah, maybe he's not a good guy, but he's fond of his star, and, you know, he worked for it. He wants to, you know, he earned it.
Yeah, and I think Appaloosa is gonna ride up next to where Duke is, I guess, floating, holding this guy. And like puts her arm out onto his arm or shoulder or wherever she can reach, depending, and it's like, come on, Duke. He's just a misguided kid.
That may be. But I sure as heck don't think he's playing us true. And I don't think this kid's a warden.
Well,
could be totally wrong, but
well, if he says that's his star, and he seems to be telling the truth, and you know as well as I do that once you're a warden, you're a warden. There ain't no way out of that. Now, kid, y'all thinking about doing some unwardenly-like things, then maybe y'all ought to consider disappearing for a while. Otherwise, well, you know the way out of the wardens.
Ouch. So, he looks like, are you like big-eyed, like... We didn't mean anything with it. Just having a little fun. You know how boring things are out here? We've been stationed here for like 3 years and nothing really happens on this road.
This here star, it ain't for having a little fun.
No, sir. It ain't.
This job ain't about... This job is... You're doing it right if it's boring. You don't want it to be exciting. You just keep your head down and live a good life. This far out in the wilds, well, that's more than most people can hope for.
Okay, if you want, you can roll rapport to see if you miraculously manage to convince themselves to better their lives. But you probably need to be pretty great to convince them just in a single conversation.
Well, let's see how it's gonna go, because I'm mediocre at this.
Yeah, it's theoretically possible.
Or 3 minuses.
Or 3 minus.
I could theoretically get four pluses, if I rolled really lucky, and theoretically I could spend fate to boost that afterwards. But let's see what happens. Nope.
It's not happening.
You kind of see them looking at you and they nod yes, but then they're like they have this kind of incredulous look. Like, how could anybody want their life to be boring? I mean, they became wardens because, you know, you get to be the protectors and you get to do the cool stuff and fight the bandits. So
Yeah.
they didn't say all that, but you can just see it in their eyes, like.
I think Appaloosa takes them at their word instead of their facial expression, and is like, "Yep, good job, send them on
Job
their way."
well done.
All right, let them down, Duke. I think they learned their lesson.
I'm seriously just leaving them, like, to continue doing what they were doing.
Nope. Not a chance.
You could have them sign a contract, but the people from the caravan are standing round, very interested, following the conversation. So, you know.
Yeah, but I'm still kind of, you know, convinced that they're all right, or, you know, not worth bothering with. So I'm waiting for something to convince me that I should also, you know, join Duke.
Well, I mean, you know, you could have changed your opinion when you saw them being like, yes.
I'll
That's up
check
to
if
you.
I noticed that. Or if I realized they were.
Probably, yeah.
Then I would be, you
It
know.
was kind of written on their face that they were, you know, not really. Like, they were thinking about it, they considered it, but then they didn't find any reason to actually believe it.
So I will, you know, having plucked the star from the one guy, I will set him down, saying, "Now don't go nowhere. Let me talk to your friend real quick, and I'll try and catch up to him."
Yeah, sure. He's like, they're kind of standing there, you know, realizing that, you know, they're not gonna. The guy is probably quivering with like Appaloosa's like blade under his chin, like, you know, trying not to move, so he doesn't cut himself.
Well, I think she's pulled it back because she's like accepted what they said, even though like I know that they're not really buying it, but I think Appaloosa is willing. She wants to believe them. You know what I mean?
Do you want a fake point to, you know, be naive and turn your back on the guy?
Yeah, I think she's already like, yep, GG, and so she turns around and starts heading back to the caravan. I'll take that as a fate point.
Okay. You feel something sharp prodding in your side. He's not sticking you with the knife, but he's holding it up against you, and he says, "Stay away. Didn't come any closer to Duke. If you come any closer, I'll kill her." I need to have it.
So like I turn around on my and he starts poking me with the knife.
Yeah.
And I just kind of sigh and look back down at him, like I don't feel particularly threatened by this. It's more of an inconvenience.
Well, I mean, you're a warden, but you still bleed.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like if he was to actually cut me, but I don't think he's got the heart for it, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Can somebody roll a d100 for me? I want to see if he has the heart for it or not.
In the meantime,
Okay.
I
Is
tried
that
to.
actual? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's got this wild look in his eyes. You know, almost frothing at the mouth. He's
Yeah,
like,
okay.
"Don't get any closer, or she's
I
gonna."
think she'd probably definitely notice that at the very least. Like she was gonna dismiss him, but then she like looks and she sees that look and she's like, "Well, shoot."
In the meanwhile, I would like to find a place from my what's it called again? Card?
Your what?
where I am in. I forgot the English word.
I'm sorry, but I didn't hear the word you said, so I can't help you.
Yeah, I think it's card, or isn't it?
A card, yeah, sure.
To find a place from where I can shoot on this guy without them noticing me beforehand, so I can aim properly.
Yeah, so I imagine it's one of these like old-fashioned like covered cars with the I don't know how they're called in English. In Dutch, they're called huifkar. With the white like hood fabric over the top, so you could easily hide behind the fabric.
Okay, then I would do so
wagon?
and try to create myself an advantage with aiming and putting something so I can put my hand on that's easier to shoot.
Okay, sure. I don't think you need to roll for that because you can take the position. It's more of a story thing than anything.
Okay.
So you just get the advantage.
Oh, and Google says covered wagon.
Covered wagon. Okay.
So
he says, "Give my friend back his star, and we'll ride off with this lady here. And then after, when we're at a safe distance, we'll let her go. And if you wait here for her, we'll let her walk back." And he says to you, Apollos, get off the horse now.
So yeah, I think she's going to when like look at his knife and be like, I can't if you're holding that on me.
Well, you better find a way to do it then.
Tell you what.
And I think at that point, she's going to slide off the horse the other way, away from him, like trying to kick him in the face at the same time. I wanna actually attack him.
So you're trying to dodge the knife and attack him. That would be athletics and fight, I think.
Wouldn't it be right if she's trying to make the horse do it?
Oh, are you trying to make the horse kick him?
Well, I was gonna kick him myself, but like get the horse to move so that I could get like the horse between me and him.
Okay, so yeah, that would be athletics and fight.
Cool. I'm bad at athletics. Let's see if that happens.
If you want to shoot at the meantime, Marin, you can.
I think I might get stabbed when I do this, but I'm still gonna hit him in the. I'm still gonna kick him in the face.
Okay, go ahead and try that.
Advantage gives +2, right?
Yeah.
I'll try to aim for the head, by the way. No joking around. I want this guy as neutralized as possible.
Okay.
So yeah, whatever I did, I'm probably winding up with a slash on me unless he fails to
yeah. So
to
you
make a roll. But
what happens is you try to slide off the other side, but then he grabs you at your duster and pulls you. So you kind of fall forwards, and you aim your knee so that aims right at his nose, and you bloody his nose good and right, but you definitely get stabbed in the side for sure.
Okay.
Well.
Should I take a consequence for that, or how much physical stress would that be normally?
It would be a knife stab in the side. I don't know. If you want, I can roll for how well he does. So your -3 was to defend.
So he almost died, most likely.
So you take a, I guess, a severe consequence even. Oh no, you can. I don't know how that works in the Fate rules exactly, but I let people divide up their stress. Like if they have a 5 stress hit in this case, you can like put it in a 3 and a 2 box or something like that.
Okay.
Avoid getting randomly one-shotted by stuff.
I think I'm willing to take like a mild consequence as like a cut, and then three stress boxes.
Sounds good.
In the meantime,
Yeah, you were
You're
shooting.
shooting.
You do not manage. Like there's this unfortunate metal horse that's partly in the way. So you managed to aim like a shot like nicely under the neck of the horse, but you can only shoot the guy in his shoulder. So
I hope it will be enough to at least let him go down for a while.
and certainly hurts him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Well-
just ready my second shot. If I can't just trigger 2 times, I'll just aim for a second shot after that. Because
Well,
you're down on the ground now, Appaloosa, next to his donkey, and he's trying to get a good hold of you, trying to grapple you to make sure that he has his knife at your throat.
well, he already stabbed her. So as he's like trying to maneuver, I'm gonna haul off and hit him. And I reckon we're gonna do this the hard way.
I reckon
Yeah.
we are.
All right.
Go ahead and make him fly.
Okay. So is that enough to connect?
Certainly.
Okay. So that also has weapon 2.
Ooh. So basically you just hit him and he just flies off his donkey. So he's not grabbing you anymore, Appaloosa. He's just like flying through the air, like trying to decide whether being punched. Where do you punch him?
Right in the jaw.
Being punched in the jaw by this giant guy, or being shot in the shoulder is whichever is worse. Like trying to basically find out what thing hurts the most.
Yeah.
So you've got a
I
nice
think-
nice scrape on yourself. But
Yeah, I'm
other
like-
than that, you're not dying.
Yeah, I have a hand clasped over where I took the cut, and then I like point at the other guy who we kind of left alone for a moment, and I'm like, Bozo, get him. Sending my horse to run him down.
It's like I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. And he holds up his hands like he points to his friend and he says, he sometimes gets wild like that, but if you leave him alone for a while, he'll be all right.
No. No, he won't.
So what does Bozo do? Does it Bozo like try to knock him out, or
Yeah, like tries to knock him down and then like pin him.
okay? Sure. Go ahead and see how well you command Bozo to do this. Not extremely well, apparently, but still does a fair job. So yeah, he gets knocked off his
Oh, I already set him down off of the his lizard.
So he just
Yeah,
gets
he's already
knocked
off the
down to the
lizard.
ground.
Yeah.
He's like, "Ow! What did you do that for?" And the frothy mouthed guy, rather, not eyed, gets up again and he brandishes his knife and he yells, "I'll get all of you! I'll get you!"
You should probably
I
make
think-
them use their powers.
Charges at you.
I understand. Shoot me, please. Shoot me again. When he says that,
You might.
I think that's a pretty accurate translation of that, right? Is it still with the advantage or without?
No, it's without the advantage. could spend a fate point to invoke the aspect, but you used your free invoke. So that that sets him off balance. It just goes like straight past him, but like he's unbalanced for a moment as he moves out of the way, and use that on your next shot as a boost.
Okay.
Now this guy is like heavily injured. He's he's limping, but he's still wild-eyed, coming at you, trying to stab you.
And I am running right at him, and I'll just say, "Take your best shot, kid."
So how do knives work with you? Since they're not like pure kinetic energy, they're not bullets.
Well,
it's still a motion that goes. You would think so.
It is.
Yeah,
it would work the same way, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, the armor would come into effect, but maybe it could. But if he's not a major character, then maybe it's not even a roll.
Let's say the armor comes into effect.
Okay.
Maybe I'll use him later.
Okay. Cool.
Suddenly, when he stabs at you, you notice that it's unusually fast. Like when he tried to stab Appaloosa earlier, it was like this slower, more clumsy movement. And now you just see this like blade coming in lightning fast. So let's see what you can do again.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty impressive, I gotta say. All right.
So is that including your armor, or?
That is not including armor. That's just athletics.
Okay, so how does armor work? Like, does it mean that you actually dodge out of the way, or like what? Or is it only like how does it work exactly?
Okay, so let me see. It hits, but the effect is reduced by 4.
So basically, in this case, he only deals 2 shifts of damage, so he deals none. Okay. Does he get a boost, like it normally is, when he hits but doesn't deal any damage, or?
No.
It's technically at -2.
Because Duke's invulnerable. It's a stunt. If his armor reduces an attack shift to 0, he gets a boost instead of his attacker.
Okay. Cool. Okay, that is pretty cool. So yeah, then totally like he stabs at you, and he's lightning fast, but you're faster.
Well,
and
no, I mean
he stops mid-air.
Yeah, I mean he totally hits.
Again. Oh yeah, he does. It's just like the blade just kind of like. He's just frantically like grabbing for another knife right now, like trying to find one that's not bent.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hit him again. So again, and I'll go ahead and use the boost. Still doing it the hard way. So that comes out as a 9. Afraid that was your last chance.
Yeah. Okay. So you just like describe how you kill him.
So this time, rather than hitting him in the jaw, it's like just straight to mid chest, and through. And kind of bloody. So he doesn't like grab anything on the way through, but he could wave at someone behind the guy if he were inclined to.
Is it is it like this hand-shaped like hole in his chest?
No, I mean, he uses a fist. I mean, he's not trying to, like, dull it.
Fair enough. You hear applause going up behind you, like Eliza, the Marion's friend, is like, "Woo!" like shouting and jeering and like serves him right.
Yeah. So I'll like let him.
Take our money.
Yeah. So I'll let him drop off my arm and kind of shake it out, and then to Marin I'll say, "Sorry, ma'am, that got a mite messy." And Appaloosa, even bigger apologies. I should have been there faster.
It's a bit of my own fault. Maybe I was a little hasty in trusting these folk.
Well, it's dark times. People going around wearing the Warden Star when they ain't no good. Oh, and I'll definitely collect the star from him.
Okay.
You should probably. So
Sorry, I muted it. Go ahead.
you should probably not kill the other one, because you will get into big trouble for killing a warden. And only the other guy can actually explain that, you know, your actions were warranted.
Yeah. I don't think that doing further harm to the other guy is warranted. I mean, he surrendered. It may be a pain in the.
Might smarter than the other fellow.
Yeah. You know, it may be a pain in the butt to have him along, but you know, I think that's just something we're gonna have to deal with.
Well, I mean, you have some options, right? You could have Rixlax set up a contract for him, but then everybody in the caravan would know that Rixlax has a power, since you know they'd see the whole like shiny contract thing. And then have him promise to go back to like the Citadel and turn himself in or something like that and tell the truth. But you could also just like tell him to do that, but then without the contract, and then just hope that he does it. Or you could take him along and then bring him back later yourself, or see if you can find somebody who can bring him back.
Yeah.
You don't know what power
So
he has.
yeah. So I'm thinking we should take him along for now, and then if there's a chance to have him quietly sign the contract, then maybe proceed that way. If that's like, if everybody else is amenable, I mean, it's not like Duke has final say here, even if he may like front that way.
No, I'm fine with that. I'm also curious to see what this guy can do.
Okay.
And we kind of have him under control, so it could be it could interfere with the whole don't get discovered thing. Because
Possibly.
We have a warden as a prisoner, kind of, which.
I mean, Duke is a known warden, so if Duke kept, looked out for him, then that would make sense.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he's a warden is not very visible because he's not wearing a star, because Duke has it.
As long as we keep him under control.
Okay. And are people up for taking a second break?
Sure, and I think
Sounds good.
when we come back, maybe we can do end of session there.
Oh, okay.
Good stopping point.
It's a bit early. We could go on if people wanted to go on, but I think I didn't have very much time to prepare today. So if we do it next week, then I have some more time to make it cooler, I guess. We can do stuff. I have some ideas of whatever comes next. So we could totally go on ahead.
Okay. Either way is fine with me.
I think end of session is
Yes.
good. I'm kind of tired. I slept for a couple of hours since yesterday morning, so.
Okay.
Okay, so then, yeah, if you want to get something to drink or so, do that, and then when we can get back, we can do our end of session stuff and wrap up. Or do you want to do the end of session stuff now and in with it?
No, I think I'd like to go ahead and take the break.
Okay.
The rental contract on my coffee is definitely expiring.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
Okay.
I'll be right back as well.
Okay. So yeah, we'll be back in 5 for wrap up.
Did we miss something awesome? There was a lot of laughing.
I'm a loser.
Oh,
So are both of you. It's fine.
yeah. Kelsa said something that couldn't possibly offend anyone.
Oh dear.
But in jest. So welcome back. And sorry, my dog is barking. Okay, that's resolved. So we were gonna do some end of session stuff.
Yes. What is your dog called?
Darth Brody. He is the cutest of the Sith Lords.
That is fantastic.
Cool. Does he have this weird thing on his face and do like?
Well, I mean, there isn't like a plastic thing on him, but his face has this mix of black and gray that is a little bit reminiscent of Darth Vader's helmet. And he's a Pomeranian, so his face is like shaped differently than most dogs. It's got all this fluff, and yeah, it fits him.
Pomeranians are pretty adorable.
So right, end of session stuff. Appaloosa, did you, or rather Kelsa, did you meet your goal? I think you did.
I think I did.
It sounded distinctly to me like you did.
Yeah, I started going southern and deepening my voice and going southern, and I think that's fitting pretty well.
Okay.
Does Appaloosa have 3 O's?
Yeah.
No, it should have 2.
Oh, look at that!
Oh, what do you know? I'll fix that.
How about you, Brad?
Well, I know I had a rough start. I don't know if it got better later or not. You guys tell me.
And I did notice that when you were talking to these people, instead of like saying the filler words, you just left like pauses, and I think that was better. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but I did notice that you did that.
Yeah, that was intentional. Not intentional in pausing in terms of trying to create dramatic pauses, but intentionally not saying anything rather than going
Yeah, I think that was good. So...
Yeah, at some point I was like, wait, is he saying or isn't he? And then this on itself is the improvement right there. If I'm not hearing it, I start wondering. So.
Okay, awesome.
How about you, Mark?
I think I did a better job than last time around, but that happened because I was not with Rixlex all the time. So in the beginning I did a bit.
What was your goal again?
To play out both facets of my character, the obsession part and the normal character without the obsession. And I think I did a better job than last time. I don't know if it was good enough because there was not a lot of the obsession part in this game.
So, did you try? Did you use the opportunities you got? Did you remember doing it? To do it?
I guess I could have used it when in the end when those 2 people showed up, but I don't think that would. I think I did still do a good job there because I think it doesn't always mean you jump out, but you care for that guy and stay in the back and have your pistol ready if necessary.
I think like if he'd been the one threatened, then you probably would have had to jump in and try and save him or something.
Yeah,
but I think he wasn't. I think together with like previous session where you played out this side of her, the obsessed side very much, and like this session, I think you should get the skill point.
Okay, then I will get the skill point.
How about you, Dee?
Well, mine is a bit long term, so I did do stuff about it, but it's not. It hasn't happened yet. I mean, the end of the mission is still not here, so.
Well, you did choose to not sign the contract, like not do a contract with these people when the other people from the caravan were
Yeah,
watching.
I didn't tell them I'm a warden too when they said they were wardens.
So you definitely maintained your cover here. Yeah, I agree.
I think so. So everybody gets a skill point. Yep.
Yay! I'll put that in athletics because apparently I need it.
It's the one of the most OP skills.
True facts.
I don't know, like investigator lore is also pretty overpowered.
They are.
Empathy can be nice as well.
Yeah. But it's
Well, I
more
already have
situational.
both investigate and lore, and I don't have any points in athletics, so
No, you should definitely bump it up. I think I'm gonna.
pertinent.
I think I'm gonna keep the ceiling at great for now, so you can't move anything beyond great.
Sounds reasonable.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Do we need to do anything else? I'd like the. Oh yeah, I know why I'm wondering if we need to do more, because we used to do the wiki earlier. But we don't have the wiki for Wild Blue, so that's what I'm missing. We used to do this really cool thing before called the Scribes game. It's from Tales of a GM blog. And there the players play scribes, and they tell stories about the world. Where one person tells a story like, oh, did you know about this island here or there, or this person or this artifact or whatever, and then the other people are like, no, you got it wrong, it's not like that, it's like this, and then they're kind of like competing to tell the true story of history, and then the result is that you don't really know what it is, but you've heard rumors about it, and then as a GM you can use that in like really cool ways where you use these rumors and you decide, okay, well, it's a little bit of that, but that part is actually true, and then that part is not true, and then you can kind of like create the real world like that.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah.
I think like we developed a lot of the world in like a relatively short time of space. Like if we go back to Pirates and Demons at some point, then there's...
we have a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I can just like I created this world map, and I can just like have like all these little islands, and I can just like pick and choose from the names we already have, and be like, oh, so that's that one and that's that one. Okay, cool.
Although it might also be cool to do a microscope session on Pirates and Demons as well.
We could.
We could have done that for the Rift part where we changed the world dramatically. That would have been really cool. But
we could.
Ooh.
That the what did the Rift change could be a microscope focus or something like that. Okay, well, I guess if we're not doing any wiki stuff or whatever, then I guess we're done.
I've got one aspect left that I have not filled in, and I was wondering if anyone had any suggestions, either based on what they saw that I did during play, or any ideas that they think might be interesting to have. So far, my aspects are starry-eyed tinker, naively optimistic, I need to make mama proud, and calloused hands, calloused heart.
I think she, like, what I see her on this like, I imagine her pretty athletic, and she's on this big horse and something. So I think she could use with an aspect that describes the more like badass, like athletic side of her.
Gotcha.
She can fight. She's pretty like cool. Yeah. She seems like this she has this badass side to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like
that a lot.
that conflict between the calloused hands, calloused heart, and the more innocent aspects.
She's like, I was trying to think of a good way to phrase that, and like I went through like about a half a dozen throughout this whole session, and that's what I finally settled on, because it shows both, because like she's a little bit socially disconnected with everyone, and I think that's really what is reflecting on that. And but then mirroring it with the hands, because she's always working with her hands, and I thought that tied it together pretty well.
So she's lonely, basically.
I mean, I don't think she'd consider herself lonely, but she's not like doesn't have any real close friends either.
Okay.
And maybe if she was to find a true friend, she'd realize what she'd been missing. But like, I think at this point right now, she doesn't realize how much of a distance that she keeps from everybody.
So
Okay.
she sort of sees the best in people, but there's like this barrier there in terms of personal connection.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. So something that reflects what a badass she is. A dab hand with a blade. Because I kind of described myself as that when we were doing introductions earlier.
Yeah, or maybe
yeah.
something about her being tough. She seems like a tough girl. She can protect herself. She's used to doing stuff on her own, probably, so she probably has, this variation of skills that she needed to, because she doesn't, maybe she doesn't rely on other people because she doesn't have friends. So then she needed to learn to do a lot of stuff herself.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about focusing on tough rather than being good with the blade, and it still could you still I think there may be room for tinkering in either case, but with tough I think there's a little bit more room for using it for a compel rather than just for advantage.
That's a good point. I figured that she's probably she doesn't maybe look that intimidating, so maybe she's tougher than she looks.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Cool, because then you can compel that also to be like, well, they don't think that you're that tough, in addition to the toughness of it by itself.
And it goes very well with her naive, right? She's not just naive, she looks naive.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Yeah, she looks naive, but she is tough, and also like she believes in people, but she doesn't understand how to connect with them.
I can see this kind of like backstory forming where there's this kind of trauma tied to her mother, why she would some reason why she wants to prove herself to her mother, because she's distant from people, so that kind of suggests that she has some reason for having this emotional distance to people, and she's tough, so she probably had to care for herself at like a younger age, maybe even already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there could be this story where her mother kicked her out, or maybe her mother died, and she's trying to show her mother up there that she's doing the right thing.
It's still kind of nebulous as far as that. We can figure out the exact details of it.
Yeah, sure. It's just like suggestions. You can do something with it or not, or think on it, or whatever you like.
Perfect.
Just the idea that popped into my head when you were, when I was thinking about your aspects.
Yeah. Also, my piece of personal gear is a pendant from my mother, so I think that all ties together very nicely.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Cool.
All right. So shall we do outros?
Let's.
Okay. So if anybody wants to cover where people can reach you, or if you have any shout outs, please go ahead. Kelsa, I imagine you do.
I've got lots of things going on. You can find out more about them if you follow me on Twitter at Kelsa, or throw me a follow here on Twitch, twitch.com/Kelsa Delphi. I am on a lot of other people's shows. Every time I'm on somebody else's show, I host them, as well as I run my own show of Dresden Files, The Shadows of Seattle. The next episode of that is going up on April 17th, the one that's a Sunday. I really should look at a calendar. Where I run a game also using the Fate system, the Dresden Files RPG. I'm also playing Friday nights with AP Gaming Real. We are doing Mistborn Adventure, which is amazing, and I love it. And anytime I have a free night, I'm over at Eric Vulgaris' channel doing Once Upon a Game. Lots and lots of one-shots. I was just on one with Brad on Monday, so it was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And thank you for the host. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Mark, do you do you have any shout outs? What's up?
If people really love me so much, they want to see me again. They always see me here Wednesday on this channel, and see you then.
Cool. Hassa, Demi?
I fear I'm gonna be boring as always, and I
Never.
should probably, like, I think I have a Twitter account. Like, I made one, but I'm not even sure what my name is. Like, and I made that like
Very
know,
useful.
like 5 or 10 years ago, like something like that. So yeah, just like see me here on Wednesdays, definitely. And follow Kelsa and Brad.
Yeah, obviously. And yeah, if people want to find me, I'm in the Netherlands. So
That's
That narrows
useful.
it
I'm putting
down.
go ahead and send your letters to
Wander
the
around door to
Netherlands.
door.
It's like Santa. The post office will figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, just send them to Dimi in the Netherlands. We don't have that many Dimis anyway. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, okay. Thank you, everybody. You can find me at here at RP Glory on Twitch. On Twitter, it's RP Glory DOTCOM. In terms of what I've got coming up, the next thing I believe isn't till Saturday, the usual Taking Waterdeep game, which is at 10:30 Pacific. I'm not sure what the deal is going to be on Sunday. I will either be running the Eshkatan in its usual slot at 5:30, or I'll be doing possibly doing something on Eric's channel, but that's still up in the air. But I should know by Saturday, so I'll say something then, and I will update the schedule. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. It's been a blast, as always. Bye.
Thanks for hosting us.
Yeah.
A pleasure.